Hey there. So I just got through watching episode 3, the episode with Ace Lovelace, and I only made a few notes, but I do want to point out a couple things to you that I thought were interesting. The first one is that there does seem to be a theme I keep seeing not only in the episodes that I've already put out, but the ones I've also got recorded, but I still need to edit. That there seems to be some common traits and some unique traits but of these artists I'm featuring. And, with Katie, it seems, the thing I really mentioned in that episode is, her tenacity and go get itness is, a standout quality. And with Brock, he's just dude's just a professional. He's just a professional, and I respect that quality in anybody. Take your craft serious, and conduct yourself as a professional and do professional things. And then with Ace, there's just a fearlessness. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have fear. It's just that he just doesn't let it impede him. It's he does these things and ventures in new directions with just I wouldn't say reckless abandon because that's not really the way it is, but with just like a just going for it. And I more than respect that, I admire that because sometimes it's hard to, if it's not something that's in your core strength set, to just say, okay, I'm going to tackle this. And not only am I going to tackle it, I'm going to do well at it. I'm going to make something that's really cool. And that fearlessness is kind of something that, I recognize in Ace. When I first met him, it was through theater. Obviously we both met, through Metropolitan Ensemble Theater. And, so that was my experience with him. And he was asking me I showed him, he showed me some of his artwork. I showed him some of mine and we, talked about it. And, I made a few, he asked me a few questions about how to, publicize stuff and get stuff, out on the, in different formats and stuff. And I tried to, encourage him and push him, towards doing more artwork. And I really do, uh, enjoy everything that I see from Ace. But to me, I just think the other note I made was that I felt like this is one of his callings is to produce film, and to be a filmmaker. I think this is a sweet spot for him because I think he does really good stuff, and I think you're going to continue to see him do good stuff in this space. So, just one of those things, there's so much talent in this city, and it's not going to be possible for me to talk to every single last one of them, but I do hope to talk to a majority and, understand kind of how their brains work and how they go about making the great things that they make. So many people to reach out to. And anyway, I hope you enjoy this episode. It was great talking with Ace. He's a really good dude. I could tell he was nervous for the interview, but we got through it. And surprisingly enough, I was able to salvage this episode. There were so many internet problems that were going on while we were taping this. He was cutting out left and right, and it was so choppy. And then as I'm looking at the downloaded copy of it, it was like on my end, I saw some choppiness. There was some on his too, but the combination, I was really unsure if I would end up with something that was usable or not. But I was very, very grateful to be able to salvage. I think it's whatever 30 some odd minutes, 39 minutes, I think is what the runtime of that episode was. To be able to get that much out of it, considering how I thought we were going to have to just reschedule and have to try it again. So, but I wanted to be that moment because we were having some real talk about some stuff, especially before we started recording, and it was really good to talk to him. So I look forward to the next episodes. I think Swooey is my next one that's getting released next weekend, and I think you're going to get a kick out of meeting Zach. He's the son of a friend, and that I've played music with, and so it's been really neat seeing him blossom into this young man doing good things. So that's up next, and stay tuned. This is going to get really good. I'm gonna get better at this every time I do it, and I'm hoping to do some really good things and share some amazing talent with you guys. Peace, love. See you.